Good morning. This is Attorney Karen Jimeno. Two millennial candidates from the city of Manila will share their brand of next-generation politics. Here at the forefront. Timothy Zarcal, the youngest councilor of Manila, is now seeking re-election for the 3rd District. A proud son of an 8-term councilor from Santa Cruz, Manila, he carries decades-long legacy of public service from his father. What drives this young leader to push for change? Joining us this morning is the re-electionist councilor of the 3rd District of Manila, Timothy Zarcal. Good morning, Consi Tol.
Good morning, Atty. Karen.
Grabe, batang-bata talaga. I can't believe you've been in politics for a couple of years by now.
5 years na, actually.
5 years na. Okay, so to get to know you better, we're going to play this game.
Okay.
Tol or no tol? Okay, so I'm going to give a statement and then sabihin mo lang kung tol or hindi tol.
Okay.
Okay? So first, si Yorme ang nag-influence sa iyo na pumasok sa politika noong 2022. Tol or hindi tol?
Hindi tol.
Hindi tol.
Yeah.
Okay, so between among you, the people that in your family, sino ba ang nag-influence sa iyo na pumasok sa politika?
Actually, you'd be surprised because coming from yung sa father ko nga, 'di ba? I was very exposed to it, but none of them or none of my family members ever pushed me into going into politics kasi what we believe in, what I believe din naman, politics kasi especially if you had the first-hand experience of seeing it, kung hindi siya nasa puso mo rin talaga, I don't think it's something that you would enjoy personally. Kasi from what I've experienced, yung politics and yung public service in general is a very, very challenging job to do. I mean, you're going down to the communities, you're talking with different kinds of people from all characters.
Yeah. So kung mahirap siya na trabaho, na naisip mo na mahirap talaga siya from the start, ano yung nag-udyok sa'yo na pumasok sa politika?
Well, siguro for me, it didn't really seem like a hard job for me because because it was natural na para sa akin to be with the community.
Natural for you because your father was a councilor himself?
I was exposed, yes. And siguro na rin, batang-gala na rin ako nung bata pa lang din ako.
Sa Manila talaga, umiikot ka na?
Yeah.
Okay, so ano ang reaction ng mother mo nung nag-decide kang tumakbo noong back then, 2020?
Siguro na nagulat din siya. Although she was very supportive, she was one of the people that was also behind my dad's campaigns during that, parang campaign manager ng dad ko, yung mom ko. She would handle all the logistics and all the nitty-gritty stuff behind the scenes. And nung sinabi niya na, nung pumasok na ako, or when I decided to go into politics also, biglang she felt proud, and at the same time, she felt anxious also kasi this time, anak naman niya ang papasok, and knowing sometimes how challenging politics can get, natatakot siya kung ano ba yung mga mangyayari na issues na maibabato sa akin.
Siya rin yung nag-handle, sinasabi mo mga nitty-gritty stuff behind the scenes.
Yes.
And you took your seat as councilor in 2020. Paano nangyari yun since ang elections would be 2019?
Well, nung 2020 kasi, I was the one the 2019 elections, I was the one who was handling my dad's campaign behind the scenes naman na. I recently graduated college lang ng time na yon. I helped him out in the campaign. And then, nung 2019, pagkapanalo ni Yorme Isko as mayor ng time na yon, na invite na si Councilor Letlet, my father, to go into the executive branch na. So he resigned from the seat, from his council seat, and because yung position na yon is meant for the party, ako yung napiling ma-i-appoint in replacement of my father during that time. So
the first time you served as councilor, hindi ka through elections, it was by technically appointment.
Yes, yes.
Okay, interesting. So let's look at the next question. Bata ka pa lang, alam mo na gusto mong mag-public service. Tol o hindi tol?
Tol.
Tol. So
Yes.
talagang bata pa lang.
Yes.
How old were you when you realized that you wanted to go into public service?
Surprisingly, actually, medyo nung matanda-tanda na ako. Like around college or nung pag-graduate na rin ako ng college. Nung nag-yes na rin ako sumama sa campaign ng father ko to be the one in charge of his campaign behind the scenes. But ang nagpa-realize sa akin nun actually was yung mga kabarkada ko pa na when they were telling me, alam mo tol, bagay na bagay ka rin talaga dyan. Because in my head, I was trying to stay away as much as I can from being that political figure or sa harapan ng mga tao. Pero ang nagpa-realize sa akin yung mga barkada ko because simula grade 1 pa lang daw, ang sabi nila quote nun, ako ba naman pare? Grade 1 pa lang, ikaw na lagi yung class president namin, ikaw na lagi yung student council namin, hanggang sa nag-graduate tayo. Ikaw
So
na
you're
rin
really comfortable in leadership roles?
Yes.
Dati pa lang?
Yes, but siguro I was in denial lang na saying it was just something that I like to do, something that I enjoy doing.
Maraming tao laging naiilang na tatakbo, mga ngampanya, even for school positions. So ikaw bata pa lang, komportable ka na sa pangangampanya?
Yes.
Talaga?
And I think parang in my head kasi hindi ako nangangampanya eh. I think talagang because yung pangalan ko nga Tol, parang sinabuhay ko na rin talaga yung pagiging Tol. Because Tol is, di ba, kaibigan,
Yeah.
pare. So the way I do my brand of politics is always just talking with people, asking how they feel, and then eventually try to solve yung mga problems kung meron man sila, and then eventually, yun, napipili ako.
Paano ba
nila.
naging Tol ang nickname mo? From Timothy?
Timothy Oliver yung buong pangalan ko. So, kunin mo yung umpisa ng T and then kunin mo yung OL, naging Tol. But ever since lumabas ako sa tiyan ng nanay ko, Tol na talaga ang tawag ng tao sa akin.
And the only other politicians that we're familiar of that is also a Tol is Senator Francis Tolentino.
Yes.
Nag-meet na ba kayo?
Yes, we have na actually. He was one of the people that assisted me in passing, nung pinasa ko yung isa sa mga ordinances ko, or one of the laws that I passed in the city of Manila, which is the creation of yung Sharia court for yung mga Muslim brothers and sisters natin. He was the sponsor of it in the Senate naman.
Okay.
So nung naipasa na ni Senator Tolentino po yun dun sa Senate, I was proudly sharing it to yung mga constituents din namin na meron tayong Sharia court in Manila.
So Tol and Tol pala yun?
Yes.
Okay. But what a cute story. But Sharia courts, it was really also created at the level of, naglabas naman ng rules on that ang Supreme Court.
Yes.
Pero kung hindi ba magkaroon ng ordinance pala, hindi siya makikreate in the city of Manila, for example?
It was mostly urging na nag-creation. The ordinance was urging na the higher-ups to create it na because as per consulting yung mga Muslim na brothers and sisters natin, because yung district ko is in Quiapo, where the Golden Mosque is. So we have the Muslim administration there also. They were telling us, and yung co-sponsor ko, si Atty. JB Hison, na mai-push na natin din siya. So nung naipasa namin, pinresent din namin dun sa senators natin, and then eventually naipasa na rin din nila, which the people from my community in Quiapo were very, very happy with.
Yeah, because prior to that, wala silang pinupuntahan for
They have to go all the
for
way
their
to
own
Mindanao.
Concerns. Yes. Okay, so next question. Kung hindi ka pumasok sa politika, magiging professional dancer or athlete ka ba? Tol or hindi tol?
Hindi to.
Hindi tol? So,
Hindi.
none of the arts. Ano yung naisip mong professional career nung hindi ka pa nag-decide na mag-politics?
During yung last year ko in DLSU, working student na rin ako nun because yun nga, as I was a dancer all throughout high school din.
Dancer? So talagang meron ding basis pala.
Meron din yung na yun.
But that was what? Like for fun,
It was for
or
fun.
recreation?
Yeah. I used to compete abroad also sa Hip Hop International.
Talaga?
Back in the day.
Naku, sayang. Sana
Kung may space lang tayo
oo
dito.
nga, hingi ako ng sample. But, so hip-hop dancing, and you really competed internationally
Yes,
for that.
awarded actually.
You're awarded?
Yeah, medalist tayo sa Hip Hop International.
Ang galing
World.
naman.
Oo.
So, that's really a talent of yours.
Yeah, that was something that I did for fun. It was like one of yung hobbies ko na rin na na-enjoy ko. And eventually, biglang next thing we knew, nagko-compete na tayo sa Las Vegas for against all the different countries in the world.
Ang galing nga. And
Yeah.
ngayon ba nagagamit mo sa campaign mo yung dancing skills mo?
For a part of it. Siguro before I give my speech, I show lang a bit of yung talent ko for 30 seconds. And I guess it's part of Filipino culture din kasi natutuwa rin sila kapag na-entertain din sila. And then I talk to them about yung mga platforms na rin natin.
Ikaw ba, you're a young politician. So, a lot of people will say that it's usually the younger ones that, can break out of the mold ng laging sine-stereotype na trapo politician. In your view, kailangan bang palitan yung culture lang yan sa politics natin na kailangan mong i-entertain yung audience, kailangan mo kumanta, kailangan mo sumayaw, or do you agree with that type of politics?
I think as long as you use it in the extent na it's not your end all and be all of being that kind of politician. Like for example, ako, hindi ko naman dinedeny kasi yung past ko that I came from a dancing background or sumasayaw din ako because it was one of the things that also, one of the things that I used as working student. I was doing gigs also nung college. It even helped me pay for yung tuition ko rin nung time din na yun. And ginagamit ko lang siya as a way to express a part of myself na even though dancer din ako, I also learned different leadership skills being in that organization, being in that group. And now, share ko lang din siya. And then kapag nagamit ko na yun, I give my time or the time that was given to me sa mga campaigns to really talk about what are the pressing issues that we have. And I think because Filipinos in general, kaya nga tayo may mga fiestas din, kaya tayo may mga variety shows wherever we go. Kasi the Filipinos are a culture of singing, dancing, very, very talented. And siguro if we use that power, use that talent for good, I don't think it's really a bad thing to be able to express that also, even in the politics side din naman.
So it's okay to incorporate entertainment.
Yes.
And you're also, ito yung next question natin. Produkto ka ng Jessie Robredo Foundation Training Program.
Yes.
Tall or hindi tall?
Tall.
Okay. So paano ka napunta sa program na ito? YLGG.
YLGG, yeah. Yung YLGG is yung Young Leaders for Good Governance.
Yeah.
Shout out sa lahat ng mga classmates ko back in Batch 4 and Batch 5. It was a co-sponsored program ng NMYL, which is the Young Movement of Young Legislators, which I'm an officer of din. Na they were seeking applicants to learn dun sa YLGG program. I applied because yun nga, I was still very young at the time, 24 years old then, and looking to I believe naman kasi knowledge is something that shouldn't be taken for granted, and I always try to find things na can add to yung knowledge ko. And nung nakita ko na the topics were about public health, sabi ko, okay, since ako communications graduate ako, pol sci din yung mga napag-aralan ko, why not learn something different naman, which is public health naman. So I can add that knowledge and be able to serve it naman to yung mga constituents natin.
And in this Youth Leaders for Good Governance program ng Jessie Robredo Foundation,
Yes.
did you have to apply for this? Or paano ka napunta sa program na to?
Nag-apply ako, I sent an email, and then they replied siguro I think around a week after, and nakita ko din naman yung list of the ones that were accepted. It was mostly for first-term politicians or first-term na councilors and board members, and first term and second term, para at least yung knowledge makuha nila, magagamit din nila in the middle of yung term.
And ano yung definition ng young? Ano yung cut-off age nila?
It was open to all members ng NMYL. nung National Movement of Young Legislators. Ang NMYL kasi is open for all legislators 40 and below ng local government. So, vice governors, board members, vice mayors, councilors.
Okay, so technically yung young leaders nila, basta 40, pwede pa?
Yes.
Okay, hindi naman yung mga super
Hindi
young.
naman.
Akala ko ang cut-off was 30 or below 30.
Hindi naman.
Okay, and itong next question natin. Principal author ka ng 10 ordinansa bilang first-termer councilor ng Manila. Tall or hindi tall?
Tall.
So first-termer pa lang, naka-10 ordinance ka na agad.
Yes.
Paano ka nagkaroon ng ideas for ordinances?
I guess, going back din siguro sa medyo nakikwento ko na yung ugali ko lang din bilang isang tol. Kasi mahilig lang ako makipagkaibigan, makipag-ugnayan sa tao. So everyday, habit ko na rin naman na umikot sa communities namin. And through yung grassroots na connection ko with them, that's where I stem my ideas from. So whenever I go down to the community, sasabihin din nila na konsehal, parang kumakalat na ulit yung parang dami nating basura ng mga single-use plastics, and then that's when the idea came around na we should have the amendments na for yung mga single-use plastics na ordinance natin in the City of Manila. And then yung ideas that come from consulting with our constituency, doon ko binibase off na kung ano yung mga isusulat ko na rin naman na doon sa council.
So can you give us your top 3 most important ordinances, in your opinion, yung sa mga lahat ng ordinances na napasa mo in those 5 years?
Top 3 din siguro, one is yung amendment ng mga single-use plastics natin. Although until now, the implementation is a bit medyo inaayos pa natin yung implementation din nun because the demographic of Manila is complicated in terms of how we're going to do that fairly and justly para sa the different stakeholders. So yun, yung amendment ng mga single-use plastics natin.
But just to give us an idea, pagka nag-grocery ka, hindi plastic ang ibibigay sa'yo?
Yung sa mga palengke, yes pa, pero sa mga grocery, we're starting to implement na gagamitin na natin, na babawasan na natin din yun.
Okay, pero meron pa rin?
Meron pa rin yung iba.
Okay. So that's one. What else?
Number 2 siguro yung isa sa tinakil ko rin was back during my first term, yung appointment year ko rin was the help of, pinush natin yung general amnesty sa City of Manila para sa mga penalties and violations ng mga tao din doon. Because that was during the time of the pandemic. I was an appointed councilor during the time of the pandemic. And yung time na yon, because walang trabaho at that time, walang masyadong kinikita ang taong bayan noon, we really pushed kay Mayor Isko nung time na yon na magkaroon sana tayo ng amnesty para doon sa mga tao. Para at least makapag-renew na sila ng mga permits nila, ma-renew na nila, or mabayaran nila yung renewal para sa mga lisensya nila, makuha na rin nila. So, it was a way to at least ease yung problems or yung mga damdamin ng mga residents din namin din doon at the time. And siguro number 3 na masaya din ako, which I think is the most controversial out of all, was yung yung no contact apprehension back in, I was the principal author nung time din na yun. Sa akin
Okay.
na
Do you
yun.
have the technology now in Manila for no contact
apprehension?
apprehension?
Actually, right now, it's still naka-TRO based dun sa Supreme Court na mandate na binigay. It was naka-TRO siya for all cities inside the Metro Manila. So, even QC, Pasig, and, QC, Pasay, and Parañaque, all the cities that have that ordinance passed into law, medyo pina-TRO siya ng Supreme Court.
But you believe that no contact apprehension can work well
yes,
in the Philippines?
Especially in Metro Manila. Kasi for me kasi during that time, there's still a lot of things that we can amend from it. But right now then I believe na yes, because it's a way for us to really lessen din yung kultura ng kotong sa sa...
So now you're on your third term. Ano ang naiisip mong ordinance that is a priority to you?
I think incoming, kung manalo man ulit ako this coming elections, one thing that I really want to focus on is yung economic opportunities natin din for the city. Because, of course, we are at the time right now where globally, it's getting harder to find jobs then, and at the same time, we're in a transition to job opportunities to be in different forms of jobs. It can be work from home, it can be dun sa mga small to medium
So what type of
businesses natin.
ordinance would you draft in order to increase livelihood opportunities?
Siguro, I would start with drafting an ordinance then na encouraging or opening yung mga stakeholders natin or investors to the City of Manila in terms of giving them, depending on what industry, let's say if it's more open to the environment or mas siguro ecologically preserving, we give them a bit of leeway in terms of yung sa mga permits na nababayaran din nila. Let's say I have a friend na eco-uling ang ginagawa niya. So pag inopen niya yung business niya dito sa City of Manila, because it's for the environment din naman, it's sustainable, bibigyan natin sila ng konting leeway para dun sa pagpasok ng business na yon to promote those kinds of businesses na industry inside the City of Manila.
Between you and your dad, sino ang mas maraming napasa na ordinances?
Oh, obviously yung father ko
Because of the 8
because
years, he
the 8 terms siya.
Yeah.
Siya.
Oo nga. So,
Umpisa.
but yung considering that you've only been there for 5 years.
Yes.
At marami ka bang napasa compared to dun sa time na nandun kayo?
I can't really say, or I'm not really
Mahirap
sure kasi
sabihin, yeah.
he became a councilor back in 1992 pa. I wasn't even born at that time.
So hindi mo alam mo. Okay, at saka iba-iba pa yung mga conditions at that time, no?
The City of Manila was so different pa.
Yes,
The country
yeah.
was so different pa at that time.
Okay, so we'll have more of you later.
Yes.
But up next, we'll be joined by another councilor of Manila or
Yes.
someone aspiring to be councilor of
Yes.
Manila.
Yes.
So we'll have an aspirant from Manila up next at the forefront when we return after a short break. Welcome back at the forefront. With a background in grassroots public service, she served as SK Federation President and now leads Barangay 484 in Sampaloc, Manila as its chairwoman. What's next for Eunice Castro as she guns for a councilor position in Manila's 4th District? Joining us this morning is a councilor aspirant in the 4th District of Manila, Eunice Castro. Good morning, Eunice.
Good morning, Atty.
Okay, we'll try something different. Instead of asking you questions, we'll leave it up to you to choose what question you'll get.
I'll pick my favorite color.
Oh, green, like
Green.
lime green pa talaga.
Yeah.
Okay, sige. So I like this para maiba naman. Okay, so first, life behind politics. So let's talk about your family. Napaaral ka ng parents mo sa magagandang schools, including those abroad. Ano ba ang business ng family ninyo?
Rentals and sa real estate.
Real estate.
Yes.
So nagpaparent kayo ng mga properties.
Yes, correct. Tapos nagde-develop kami and binibenta.
Okay. And
Flipping ng lupa.
considering
ng parents
that
ko.
your parents established a business, bakit hindi ka na lang nag-business?
I did. Kaso lang parang calling ata sa akin itong pagpapasok ko sa politics.
Okay. And something more personal.
Yes.
May love life ka ba outside of work?
Wala
Kasi
po. Parang work.
SK ka talaga. Oh.
Work ata ang love life ko. For the last 15 years.
Hindi ka ba pinipressure ng parents mo to settle down?
Meron, may pressure of course. Kasi worry sila na wala akong makakasama sa buhay ko, sa later years ko. So, Yes, may pressure.
But
Pero
for
hindi
you,
naman.
Ikaw,
ganun.
naisip mo ba na mag-set ng target na, kasi bata ka pa eh, but do you have a target that at this age, it's the right time to settle down?
Yes, meron.
What age
35.
is that? 35.
Ideal, yeah.
So, kailangan mag-start ka na pala mag-rap, you have about 4 years. Okay, so let's pick a next question.
Okay. The blue one.
Okay, so now, let's see. Okay, ito, family.
Family.
So kanina we were discussing your family business, but your sister Yulene is a TikTok star. Paano nakakatulong sa inyong kampanya yung pagiging social media star ng iyong kapatid? Tumutulong ba siya sa'yo?
Yes, oo. Sumasama siya during house to house and motorcade. Minsan nagko-contribute din siya sa expenses minsan, si Yulene. Very supportive sister talaga siya sa akin.
Would you say that Yulene is your closest sibling?
Pareho sila.
So apart from
My
Yulene,
brother.
Yung brother mo.
Yeah.
Is your brother your kuya?
No. Youngest.
Sino
He
ang
is the
eldest sa
youngest.
inyo?
Ako po.
Ikaw.
Yeah, ako po.
Okay, so ikaw talaga yung ate
Yes.
nila. And si Yulene, she has 3.4 million TikTok followers.
Followers, yes.
Sabi niya ba na kumikita rin siya from her social media?
Of course, yes.
Oo.
Ang dami niyang projects na nakukuha.
Does she
from
also contribute to your
TikTok.
campaign?
Yes. She's helping me.
Ang cute naman.
Yes.
Okay, and should you make it to councilor, meron ba siyang na naiisip na mga kailangan yung isulong na ordinances? Meron ba siya nabanggit sa'yo na advocacies that she wants you to push for?
No, wala. Si Yulene is very jolly sa person.
Oo.
So pag tinatanong ko siya, wala kami talaga masyadong serious conversation.
Ang cute. So magkaiba talaga yung personality
Yes, oo,
ninyo.
correct, exactly.
Okay, sa pamilya ninyo, kanino ka kumukuha ng advice when it comes to politics?
Ang mother ko talaga, the parents ko, both of them.
But none of
My
them ever entered politics.
My mother and father was a previous chairman in
So
our
talaga,
barangay.
Sa kanila ka rin nakakuha ng
Yes.
inspiration.
Yes.
Okay, and supportive sila sa pagpasok mo
Very,
sa politics.
heavily supportive.
Okay. Let's pick a next question. Here.
The red one.
Okay, red. Oh, okay. This is education. So you studied in Southville and also Enderon. Those are really good schools. Bakit mo naisip na pumasok sa politics instead of just pursuing a career in the corporate world, for example, or just maintaining the business that your family started?
I also tried going to corporate before politics.
And then, how did that turn
In
out?
between, actually. In
Oo.
between. Kasi college ako eh. Earlier akong napasok sa politics when I was 15 years old. And then, tinapos ko yung college, nag-try ako sa corporate. Pero parang hindi talaga para sa akin yun. And then I tried
Bakit mo naman
going
nasabing pa
to
hindi
business.
para sa'yo?
Parang hindi sa akin. Yung meron kang sinusunod na boss, na hindi ako a follower. I'm not a follower. I'm not a good follower.
So, talaga naisip mo na being a leader in a sense like SK, is that something that you found to be a better fit?
Yes. Parang mas gusto kong mag-serve, mag-lead, kesa mag-follow ng orders.
And at what age did you decide na pumasok sa SK?
At the age of 16?
16?
Yeah, at the
Oh
age
my
of 16.
gosh. At the time, yung parents mo okay lang sa kanila?
Yes, oo.
They didn't say
They
na
were the
masyadong
one who
kababata.
encouraged me to run as SK chairman in our barangay. And then, gusto ko kasi yung isang stretch ng street namin before, puro relatives ko yung nandoon. And then, tuwang-tuwa ako kasi mga pinsan ko, mga tiyuhin ko na halos kaedaran ko, na kami-kami yung magle-lead ng youth doon sa amin, sa area.
So sa SK na yon, when you entered at the age of 16, marami ka rin kamag-anak na kasama mo sa SK.
Correct, mga SK kagawad ko din. Even my sister
Tumakbo rin
Yulene
sila.
was the first SK kagawad during my term.
Oo. So tumakbo rin pala sila.
Yes,
at the
kami-kami.
time. But in your barangay, natutuwa ba sila na family nyo yung pagkasama? Or did they consider that as, oh, puro pamilya nyo na lang, walang mga ganong
Hindi
comment?
naman. Not naman the entire
Yeah.
slate na puro family. Half-half naman. Merong SK Gawad from the different street. So, hindi nila pwedeng sabihin na more like, buong pamilya tong nakaupo ngayon.
And ano yung napulot mong aral doon na palagay mo pinakamahalaga from your experience as SK at a young age?
Kailangan lagi kang may integrity.
Integrity.
Yes.
And that's something that you seek to
I
bring.
value.
Oo.
Yes.
You also studied in Seneca College of Applied Arts and Technology in Polytechnics, Canada. How long was this course?
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
Hindi mo naisip
1
na magstay na lang sa Canada?
Naisip ko din, umuwi ako last year, yes, 2024, kasi I was invited by a previous minister doon sa area kung saan ako nag-internship din. Kasi he's running for federal. Tapos, ini-invite niya ako to participate sa campaign niya. And then, nag-participate ako. And he even offered na ipapasok niya ako sa law firm niya. Tapos, come May, nagtanong ako kung matutuloy ang election last year sa Canada. And then sabi niya sa akin, baka daw mo move this year. Kaya I decided na baka ito talaga, dito ko nililid ni Lord sa pintuang ito. Kasi dalawang opportunity yung nagbubukas sa akin. Kaya umuwi ako. Pero hindi ako agad ipaalam sa kanya. Kaya earlier this year, nag-message siya sa akin, ini-invite niya ako. Sabi niya, mag-gear up na daw sila for March and April. Kasi mag-election na ng May. And then doon ko na sinabi sa kanya na I am also running for city councilor here in Manila.
Okay, so for you talaga decided ka na that
Yes,
this is the path that
yes.
you want to pursue. Okay, let's pick another question. Okay. Okay, this is Canada. So before you decided to come back here, you also worked as an intern associate sa dalawang member of provincial parliaments
Parliament, yes.
ng Canada. What was that experience like?
Sobrang, ang dami kong karanasan, ang dami kong natutunan sa kanila at ang dami kong nakilalang tao doon na naging possible connections ko. Kaya na-invite din ako last year na ino-offeran ako na possible na makapasok siya sa federal. Nag-offer sila sa akin ng position stop sa parliament.
But that's at a different level. Like,
Yes.
Parliament in Canada, hindi mo ba naisip na mas magandang experience yun? Because you can always come home to the Philippines and then pursue a political career here. But that opportunity to be able to work in the Canadian Parliament is something that might not be available to you again in the future.
Correct.
Paano mo winay yun?
Actually, nagkaroon talaga kami ng debate ng parents ko regarding dyan. Kasi gusto nila i-pursue ko yung sa Canada. Pero mas gusto ko yung calling dito sa akin kasi nandito ako sa sarili kong bansa magsiservisyo. Kasi kung ginagawa ko doon sa kanila na grabe kong binibigay yung self ko, bakit hindi dito sa sarili kong bansa? Ako maging parte ng pagbabago.
Should you not make it sa seat dito sa councilor for the 2025 elections, pagsisisihan mo ba yung decision mo na sana nag-Canada ka na lang?
No.
Hindi.
No. Yeah.
Bakit?
Kasi love your own, the Philippines. And yun yung gusto kong ibahagi sa lahat ng mga bata ngayon. Kasi pagka nasa abroad ako, lagi kong naririnig masasakit, ill words about the Philippines and tayo sa mga tao natin. Sana bago tayo pumunta ng ibang bansa, sana dito muna tayo mag-contribute sa sarili nating bansa. Magagaling yung mga taong meron tayo abroad. And kung dito natin nasusustain yun, mas madedevelop natin yung bansa na meron tayo.
But when you say ill words about the Philippines, is it coming from fellow Filipinos na
No, not fellow Filipinos.
Mga
yeah,
banyaga din.
Like, yes, discrimination.
Ano mga type of comments?
Like, meron ako na-experience sa loob ng office way 2023 na sabi niya sa akin, bakit daw ako nag-i-intern? He is also an intern sa office. Ba't daw ako nag-i-intern? Sa healthcare naman daw ako nag-work. Ano daw ang connect ko with the government? And then doon ko sinabi sa kanya na I am also a government relations student here. Kaya ako nagsistart ng internship dito sa office ni Solicitor General. And nagtitake siya ng law doon sa Canada. And sabi ko, yun na, alam mo yung lagi nilang iniisip sa atin na sa ganong trabaho lang tayo, pwede.
Okay.
But we are beyond that.
Pero sa
akin.
naobserbahan mo nung nagtatrabaho ka sa Canadian Parliament, ano yung nag-stand out sa'yo as ibang-iba in the way they do politics there in Canada compared to the politics here in the Philippines?
Good governance. Like, kahit yung maliliit na bagay, pinag-uusapan nila. And inclusivity, yung involved din yung mga constituents nila palagi. Alam mo, meron ngang time nun, during hearings sunod-sunod na hearings namin, talagang para maayos nila yung isang problema sa isang area, magkukuha sila ng information from different area ng mga tao. Manghihingi sila ng reaction, comments regarding doon sa pangyayari para nila maayos. Correct.
What about being data-driven? When they gather that information, would you say that the way they design policy or make decisions is more data-based?
No, not naman database lang to be exact. Kasi inaano din nila yung sentiment ng mga constituents nila doon. So, hindi. Overall, hindi.
So talagang it's more of the stakeholder
Yes.
consultation. What about yung sinasabi mong every little thing? Is that something that is more efficient in a way? Like when you say na lahat ng bagay, merong stakeholder consultation.
Yes, oo. Kasi dito sa atin, parang hindi nangyayari yun na hindi naririnig yung boses ng masa. Kasi kung naririnig mo yung boses ng masa, alam mo kung ano yung babaguhin sa sistema.
Okay. And hindi mo naiisip na dito that would make things take longer dahil as it is, parang medyo meron na tayong a lot of red tape and bureaucracy.
Hindi, ako para sa akin, mas gusto ko yung papakinggan mo yung sentimento ng masa kesa yung mamadaliin mo yung proseso.
Okay. Last question. Let's pick the... Okay, here. Oh, public service. Okay, so ito, nandito ka na ngayon as chairwoman ng barangay. In the 6 months that you have been a barangay chairwoman, what are your 3 biggest accomplishments so far?
Yung tinuloy ko, yung maintenance, yung monthly maintenance ng mga senior sa amin. And nagbibigay din ako ng financial assistance sa kanila if needed. And financial gift din, cash gift sa kanila sa mga birthdays nila. At sa mga kabataan, nagbibigay ako ng mga seminars tungkol sa, what do you call that? Tungkol sa mga nangyayari ngayon sa government and trainings na ginagawa namin yung para gumawa ng mga, what do you call that? Trabaho na makakatulong sa kanila, trainings.
Okay.
Like
so,
making candles, yung mga ganyan.
so parang may livelihood program
correct,
ka
yes.
din. But when you say that among your 3 biggest accomplishments would be the is that like a seminar for the younger generations about what's going on in the government?
Yes.
Is it the government of Manila or national government?
No, sa sariling barangay ko.
Sa barangay
Sa barangay ko lang
okay.
yun.
And ano yung pinag-uusapan doon? Is it yung kung ano yung mga ginagawa ng barangay, local government?
Yes, so kung ano yung nangyayari. Kasi dapat ini-involve sila eh. Kasi ngayon pag umiikot ako sa mga barangay na lulungkot ako sa mga kabataan na wala silang pakialam. Samantalang sila yung masusunod sa amin eh. Sila yung masusunod doon sa mga senior na mga nakaupo ngayon. Na pag nakakausap ko sila, wala silang pakialam.
Okay.
Kaya gusto ko silang i-involve kung ano yung nangyayari sa barangay, kung ano yung mga proyektong ginagawa namin at bakit namin ginagawa yun.
Okay, so kakatapos mo lang mag-undergo ng elections, yung barangay elections. And now, for councilor, this is a different type of position that you're running for. Bakit hindi mo na lang tapusin mo na yung term mo as barangay chairwoman? Why are you running for councilor?
kung na-offer naman ako ng mas wider and yung in-offer ko sa barangay namin, kaya kong i-offer sa buong distrito. Bakit hindi?
But don't you think magkaiba yung line of work that you'll be able to do? Because at least with barangay, you can take care of the day-to-day needs, whereas as councilor, it's more of lawmaking or just drafting ordinances.
Para sa akin, hindi lang ganun ang trabaho ng isang konsehal. Kasi kung paano mo malalaman yung sentiments or komento ng bawat barangay, kung doon ka lang mag-i-stick sa paggagawa ng batas. So, dapat bumababa ka rin talaga din sa mga bawat barangay para nakikita kang epektibo ng mga tao sa inyo.
Okay.
So, hindi basta ordinansa lang ang pagiging konsehal. So,
Ano pa ba yung ibang functions ng konsehal na nakikita mo na mahalaga para sa district?
dapat bumababa ka sa grounds. Inaalam mo kung ano yung mga problema sa barangay. Kaya nga, sabi namin, mas maganda na dumaan ka muna sa grounds bago ka tumakbong konsehal para alam mo kung ano yung problema sa bawat barangay sa Maynila. Katulad namin, kami ang may pinakamaraming barangay sa buong lungsod namin, which is on District 4.
Among the candidates in Manila, bakit mo naisip na tumakbo with Yorme? Bakit hindi kay incumbent Mayor Honey Lacuna, for example?
I'm nothing against Mayora. During nung nag-decide akong tumakbo, nag-set din ako ng meeting sa kanya. Nagpaalam din ako sa kanya. Si Yorme kasi, siya yung nag-offer din sa akin na tumakbo for councilor. And bakit siya din yung pinili ko na partido is si Yorme kasi nakikitaan ko ng magandang benevision sa Maynila.
So,
Na
yun ang
iaayos ang Maynila. At saka natuwa talaga ako during ng term niya na nakita nyo naman si Yorme noon nung bilang alkalde siya ng Maynila. Talagang umiikot siya, talagang inaalam niya yung bawat problema ng lungsod namin at ginagawa niya agad ng mabilis na paraan.
Hindi ba ginagawa yun ni Mayor Honey?
As I said, I'm not in any position to give comments to the sitting mayor. So,
Okay. Well, we'll have more of Chairwoman Eunice and Concitol together when At the Forefront returns after a short break. Welcome back at the Forefront. And now we're both with two young next-gen Politikos from Manila, Concitol and Chairwoman Eunice.
Yes.
So now to get to know your thoughts better, we'll play a game where you need to complete a sentence. So we'll do alternating, okay? So we'll start first. I'll give a sentence and just complete it with an answer. Okay, we'll start with Concitol. Bilang millennial leader, ako ay...
Ako ay makikinig sa aking mga kasamahan para po sa susunod na henerasyon.
Okay. Eunice, Chairwoman Eunice, ang isang bagay na hindi alam ng tao tungkol sa akin ay...
dati ako introvert.
Dati kang introvert. Pero hindi na ngayon.
Hindi na ngayon.
Oo, at saka para mag-politics ko sa Pilipinas, no? Mahirap maging introvert. Okay. Concitol, ang tunay na pagbabago ay nagsisimula sa...
Ating sarili.
Okay, that's a good one. Chairwoman Eunice, kung mabibigyan ako ng superpowers, ang gusto kong baguhin sa Maynila ay...
Ang buong syudad, syempre. Gusto ko magandahin.
Gusto mo pang pagandahin
Gagawin
pa.
kong modern talaga.
I'm curious to hear.
Yes.
Later pag-usapan natin anong mga ideas mo
Yes.
to modernize Manila. Okay, Concitol, kapag may bumabati ko sa akin, ang ginagawa ko ay...
Ngingitian ko lang sila.
That's a good approach, ha? Marami kasi minsan mainit ang ulo. Okay. Chairwoman Eunice, kung gagawa kami ng content ng sister ko sa aking kampanya, ang theme ay...
Yobab and Consi.
Yobab and Consi. Oh, ang cute. Kailangan makita namin yan, ha? Pwede pagka ginawa niya yan.
Elected na tayo by that time.
Okay. Tol, kapag nag-aaway ang iba't ibang partido sa ating politika, ang naiisip ko ay...
Makipag-usap ng maayos, makinig, at sana wag maging emotional.
Okay, give that advice to our national government. Okay, Eunice, ang idolo kong politiko ay si...
Mayor Lim.
Mayor Lim.
Yes,
Talaga?
Mayor Lim.
Bakit?
Mayor Lim ang gusto ko. Ano siya magaling siya para sa akin. Tsaka aside doon, meron akong parang father figure ko kasi siya at that time, yung bata pa ako, konsihal ako noon eh. And siya yung nilook up ko.
Konsihal ka that time? Ilang taon
Counselor
ka
ako
that
before.
time? 16
16.
ka
I
na
just turned 16 na.
nag-counselor.
Nag-file ako noon as SK chairman, 15 years old ako. Then I turned 16 December that year.
Grabe. So kayong dalawa, ang tagal nyo na rin pala. No? So that was in the barangay level,
Yes.
barangay konsehal.
And no, barangay, then...
SK Federation
SK
President.
Federation. Okay.
Yeah,
And in what way magaling si Mayor Lim para sa'yo?
Yung womb to tomb niya na ginawa noon.
Womb to tomb?
Womb to
Ano
tomb.
yun?
Yung libreng panganganak, libreng edukasyon, tapos hanggang mamatay ka, libreng libingan.
So kayong dalawa ba, what is your stand on ayuda? Pagka, like yung womb to tomb na binibigyan ng tulong
Sa akin,
financially.
yung ayuda, ayoko nun. Kasi instead na baguhin mo yung sistemang meron tayo, ginagawa mo lang mas dependent yung publiko sa pera. So dapat ang ginagawa natin ng gobyerno natin, inaayos natin yung sistemang meron tayo para iangat yung antas ng pamumuhay dito sa Pilipinas.
Okay. Very well said. What about you, Tol?
In relation to that, I agree with yung ayusin din yung sistema. And kaya siguro, like for example, yung AKAP na program, the whole title of it is Ayuda para sa Kapos ang Kita. It should be targeted to the people who are really struggling din dun sa pangailangan nila, people who are trying to look for jobs or who are struggling dun sa mga jobs din nila. So, I think yung ayuda culture kasi, one of the things na kailangan tandaan ng taong bayan, that it is not that politicians' money. It is the money of the people, and you should not succumb to yung patronage politics na wala kang utang na loob dun sa tao kapag nabigyan ko ng ayuda na yon. It should always
exactly.
be yung sistema na yan ay nagbibigay sa atin ng opportunities para maiangat yung sarili natin. And with that is yung stepping stone mo na we are here just to help, to guide you, and to bring you to a better future para sa sarili mo.
And kayo, you're both on the ground. Ano ba nakikita nyo? Meron ba talagang association with politicians pag nagbibigay ng ayuda?
There are some politicians talaga na kapag they will try to let you see or parang ipaparinig sa inyo na baka may utang na loob kayo sa amin na dahil ito nabibigay namin sa inyo to. Pero I think that's the main messaging that should really change. Binibigay namin to sa inyo. These programs are offered to you for yourself, para sa sarili mo. Huwag tanggalin mo na yung mga politiko diyan sa programa na yan, sa idea na yan na dahil sa amin meron kayo niyan. Hindi, nandito kami dahil sa inyo.
Tama.
Okay, I like that view on politics. So let's go back to complete the sentence. Tol, para sa akin, ang political dynasty ay...
Hindi dapat maging basihan kung pipiliin mo ba yung tao o hindi.
Okay, very good reason for voting. Chairwoman Eunice, mawawala ang korupsyon sa ating gobyerno kung...
Mawawala ang corrupt officials.
Tama naman. Oo, very good reasoning din.
Oo nga naman.
Oo nga naman, di ba? Kaya talaga napaka-importante itong upcoming elections eh. Okay, bilang mga kabataang leader, paano ninyo mapapakita na hindi hadlang ang edad para maging maayos na public servant at pwede kayo maging proactive and effective sa public service? Kayo siguro pareho rin yung naranasan din na binabatikos kayo because of your age. So, paano nyo mapapakita na hindi hadlang ang edad ninyo? Who'd like to start?
Consitol?
Yeah.
Siguro from my experience during the last election din. Nung time na yon, ang binabati ko sa akin, anak lang naman yan ng tatay niya. Tignan nyo, ang bata-bata pa pumapasok ng politika. Ano ba alam niya doon? But some people fail to realize then that the age that we have right now, the age that we are in is in changing times then. Our demographics are changing, the needs of the people are also changing, and especially now, very fast-paced na talaga ang mundo ngayon. And yung edad na namin, or the age that we are in, we are also trying to climb din we're also trying to make ends meet in terms of how we're living our life din. So we are the best example din na nakakaintindi kami sa struggle din ng buhay ng mga tao din ngayon. Kasi we're also trying to find our place in this world also. So yung edad namin should not be a hindrance to serving the public. Kasi kasama nyo kami sa buhay din na to na sabay-sabay din tayo sana aangat.
Do you have any ideas that you want to bring? Kanina, Chairwoman Eunice, you mentioned modernizing Manila.
Oo.
Ano ba yung idea
Siyempre,
mo for modernizing Manila?
Naiinggit ako sa mga katabi nating Asian countries. Meron silang, nagpo-provide sila ng maaayos na tirahan sa mga kapuspalad na wala dito sa atin.
So you want to improve?
Correct.
In
Housing.
city
housing.
housing.
And city housing.
Okay.
Kasi hindi mo naman pwedeng itapon na lang sila bigla-bila kung saan na hindi mo sila bibigyan ng pangkabuhayan. Tapos andito sa city yung pinagkakabuhayan nila.
Yeah.
So sana kung gagawa ang gobyerno, sana iisipin din nila yon. Kasi kung sa kanila rin gagawin na yon, itatapon sila somewhere else, isolated. Paano ka rin magsisimula?
One of the criticisms with Mayor Yorme, you're both running under Mayor Yorme, right? Yung isa sa mga na-mention ng mga critics would be the debt that was incurred during the term of Mayor Isko. So, paano ninyo, how will you intend to bring more programs and modernize Manila while managing the debt of the city, yung utang ng syudad?
Well, siguro Atty. Karen, I was a counselor din kasi during nung time na yun, ina-approve din namin sa council yung debt na kinuha ni Yorme din nun. Yung debt na yun was used for all the social services na napakinabangan ng mga taga-Maynila during that time. For example, yung CACAF, the cash distribution fund for yung mga tao, the tablets for the students, the in-city housing that was built agad-agad din doon, the COVID field hospital in Luneta. So, all of that was a way to stabilize what was a degrading economy during the time of the pandemic. And the goal was also, because we are staying, nagsistay tayo na nabubuhay pa rin tayo sa lungsod ng Maynila at that time, we will aayusin natin yun in terms of fixing the economy once the pandemic is over.
So you're comfortable with yung level ng utang ng Manila? And sa palagay ninyo, kaya tong bayaran ng syudad ninyo?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Ano ang message ninyo sa mga kabataan para sa pagbabago ng Manila? Since dun kayo pareho nagtatry ngayon na makakuha ng posisyon.
Sana mag-partake silang lahat doon sa gusto namin at benbisyon namin sa Manila. Sana lahat ng kaedad namin at saka mga bata ngayon, sana mag-partake sila doon sa change. At yun nga, mag-election ngayon, vote wisely.
Vote wisely. Yan ang talagang important na message ngayon. Any final message, Consitol?
I guess for all the young people din in the city of Manila, I think in relation to what si Eunice is also saying, na the youth should really be involved in the decision making of the city, because even though we are at yung age namin ngayon, nasa late 20s, early 30s. Eventually, in a few years, we will be the ones who are really handling the city. Regardless of what position you were in, you are going to be the head of the family. And when that time comes, hopefully, yung generation namin, yung spearhead ng maayos na pagbabago talaga doon sa communities namin.
Okay, thank you so much. And on
Thank you
that
so
note,
much, Atty. Karen.
let's all encourage the young voters to please go out and vote
Yes.
on May 12.
May 12.
13 days na lang.
Oo, 13
Lapit
days
na,
na
2
lang.
weeks na lang.
Good luck in the upcoming
you.
elections.
Thank you.
Thank you
Atty.
again,
Karen.
Consi Tol and Chairwoman Eunice. And I hope that you can improve Manila.
Thank you so much, Attorney.
Manileños Timothy Zarcal and Eunice Castro typify the hope that lies in the hands of the youth. Their political journey reminds us that the future is already being built by positive and proactive leaders of today. Be timely informed, be insightful of the news. Always stay at the forefront. Join us again tomorrow for insights on public servants seeking to make a difference for the country. This is Attorney Karen Jimeno. Thank you for spending your hour with us.